small vacation some of you had for the last week, as we look at a very important meeting this evening, or I should say late this afternoon, is to take a look at our ARPA funding over the past number of years in order to ensure that by tomorrow morning, we are in compliance with voting to, shall we say, utilize all of our available ARPA funding. Most of it has already been voted previously by the board over the last 3 years, but some of it will be new to this list today. That is not a lot, but most, again, have been already voted. So at any rate, we have two pieces of paper here, two groups of paper, an addendum A and addendum B. They're really one and the same. They both, indicate or give us a list of all of the things that we either purchased or the activities that have been completed utilizing the funds from ARPA. Hey, Tammy, did you want to walk us through the differences between A and B, or
Sure.
just get us to a point where we're able to take a vote that would, in some cases, just confirm a vote that was taken previously by the board? And today there's, I think, about how many? Are there 7 or 8 that are new to this list?
There's a few, but not a lot.
Okay.
Addendum A is just, it's by department, like DPW, Fire Department, Police Department, Henry Woods Building, and then I just kind of, if there were individual things like 911 Memorial, Library Chimney, Ruggles Lane Parking Lot, stuff like that is on the Addendum A. But if you look at Addendum B, it's itemized where you can see exactly what was purchased for the specific projects that were on Addendum A.
Okay. One important thing for the public that might be watching this meeting is to understand that we had approximately $1.6 million to expend out of ARPA funds. And just to let you know that in each department, the DPW, we purchased a used plow truck. We purchased building security and internet upgrades. DPW, we fixed Mack trucks 2, Mack trucks 10, wheeler truck 5 and 6. We did sewer manholes at a cost of $24,400. We did snow plow install, 2 snow plows installed, alarm works, and fire detection. So we did that for DPW. The fire department, we purchased an ambulance, modular communication radios that would bring the upgrade necessary to communicate with our dispatch center, an MRI fire chief search that we're working on currently, and also some what they call MRI assessments that will be done on the candidates for the position. For the police department, a 2023 Chevy Tahoe new cruiser, Dell Technologies server, enterprise storage, modular communication radios, again, similar to what we did for the fire department, downrange sports firearms, police drone, police fencing, Beacon solar study, Liberty Chevy police cruiser, blacktop services, government direct laptop. Please understand and think about the fact that we have done some huge capital between the fire department with an ambulance and so forth, and the police department with 2 different cruisers and other things that were necessary from a capital perspective. Henry Woods building updates, we updated some paint, blinds, and so forth. We didn't do a lot of upgrades in Henry Woods, but a mini split down in the town clerk's office, KDH commercial doors and hardware replacement. We do have some significant issues in doors that continue, but we did do some exterior door work. Town hall painting, we have allocated funds for that process. As most of you look at the town hall, I think you will agree that we do need some painting there, and that will be primarily covered by ARPA into the next, shall we say, painting year, which will probably start sometime in April or May. The senior center building, we have security locks and new Wi-Fi opportunities. Also, we have a new fraud, shall we say, a new group of individuals that moved from Powers & Sullivan, which was our original finance auditing firm, to Markham, which kind of gobbled up, Powers & Sullivan. And then recently...
To CBiz.
Yeah, Markham was gobbled up by CBiz. So you'll be seeing different names as we pay the $33,800 for fraud assessment that was required by the feds. Administrative assistant TA office is $1,000 office thing, as we're moving those offices down to the bottom floor at Henry Woods, so we have much more public access. 9/11 Memorial, 37.5. Most people can see that that's been accomplished, and we thank those individuals who did so much work on that. Library chimney, there was a chimney project that was completed at the Barre Town Library, and that 150-year-old chimney was rebuilt, 2 of them actually, so that they are now in compliance and safe. The Ruggles Lane parking lot was one of the first things we did and approved by the committee, and that was at Ruggles Lane about 2 seasons ago now. At Quabbin Regional School District, we replaced 70 existing emergency lightings with new voltage. That was at Ruggles Lane School. So you didn't
Ruggles
really do it for Quabbin Regional School District. It was done for the Ruggles Lane building, which is the asset of the town of Barre. Matrix, Spring Hill, we are completing the Matrix project there, where there will be internet provided at the Spring Hill locations for, I think, about 13 different homes, should they choose to participate in that. Spectrum new fiber for the Town Hall of Barre was completed. Spectrum internet services were upgraded as required. Community one-stop grant, energy and environmental planning assistance master planning. There was, we had some matching funds we had to pay. Easy skating rink. I'm just so thrilled to see that they've put up the skating rink already, because what that means is it's going to remain warm for the rest of the season. if history is any indication. And today is what, 55 or 60, I think, outside. High Plains Park, a lot of work and effort by the select board and other community agencies, as we have $200,000 from the ARPA funds will be utilized there, and that will be done in conjunction with another $100,000 park grant that was, shall we say, obtained by the work of the town administrator this past year. So that's wonderful for us. We do believe with the park grant and this funding, we may be able to also take Rice Park and upgrade that as well. That remains uncertain, as when we finally wrap up High Plains, we'll know what extra we may have available, and we'll be investing what we can in Rice Park. Employment Practices Group, is that where this is a thing that's still outstanding. This is a very large sum of money for actually legal work that is being done in, shall we say, an employment investigation suit where there's been some complaints of harassment. And we are not completed with that work yet, and we are already into it for probably about $70,000, but hope we can finish that work with the amount that's penciled in here, which is $76,675. The Welcome to Barre sign, that is completed, and obviously that the amount there, $6,100, is an amount that would include actually putting the sign in the ground, and this is not an electronic sign. I don't want people to think it's an electronic sign. It is not. For those who want the electric sign, my apologies. For the people who didn't want the electronic sign, I guess you'll be happy. Transfer station seal coating and shall we say, I think repair of some large, shall we say, cracks and holes. I think it was very difficult to transit that place. And should we have any additional funding available when all of these projects are completed, there will be an amount of about $70,000 shifted to health insurance. This amount will potentially be decreased.
Yes.
And we've been advised to do it this way in order not to overexpend, okay, yes, the money, that we have $70,000 kind of sitting there that we use in these projects to make sure we get them done, if some of them are a little higher than original estimates, or we move it to health insurance, that we don't send any money back to the federal government that we haven't planned to spend. This has been recommended to us by the auditors who are working with us. We're doubtful we'll have much to do with that, but we have a provision there in case. The addendum B is a much more even detailed, okay, representation of all of the current expenditures that have already taken place, as well as those that are planned for the next year. Because we do have a year to actually finish the projects, while we have to have a contract to say we're going to do those projects. We obviously we have another year to get the playgrounds in the ground and other things completed. So, some of them have been completed and already paid for, and that's obvious in Appendix B. What we need to do this I'm so eager to say evening, but this afternoon, is to just approve the ARPA funds as presented in an Addendum B, and that are also supported in Addendum A. They are really just a different format of each of the examples of what we have spent for ARPA funds, probably in the last 3 years. And we just have to make sure that there is a document available to the federal government that demonstrates that the select board has approved each and every one of these projects. There is a vote from other previous town meetings and also representative information from our town accountant that indicate when we paid previous things that had been approved. So these things have been approved as an ongoing basis, but just to ensure that there is approval for every single project and it's obvious and in one spot, we provide this document, or the town administrator provides this document for us so that this vote could be made with documentation that was be easily available to the public. Could I have a motion? Yes, please.
Yeah, I would move to approve the ARPA funding as presented in Addendum B and supported in Addendum A.
Okay, we have a motion made, and I will second that motion. And we have a motion made and now seconded to approve the documentation for the expenditure of ARPA funds. And those documents are noted as Appendix Addendum A and Addendum B and have been available to the board for its review and is obviously available to the public. As I said, many of these have already been previously voted and the project's completed, but probably the last, I don't even know if it's a dozen, but have not been formally approved. So this meeting will reapprove everything and approve the new things that have been added to the list. Okay, with that information, I seek a vote.
Aye.
Aye, those have been favorably approved by 2 members of the select board, the other member of the board unable to attend tonight, this afternoon.
I just one question on, a couple of questions on this, Tammy, just to
Yes.
make sure we don't get jammed up, like
Yep.
with Markham fraud assessment, you know how they've changed hands?
Yes.
Is that specifically laid out in each one?
Yep, you
so
should
that-
have it in Addendum B,
Is that CBIZ?
yeah.
I mean, we've gone from Powers and Sullivan to Markham and CBIZ in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure
Yeah.
that, you know, and also.
Yep, if you look on, right here, Mark,
Oh,
50, 51, and 52, you'll literally see Markham, CBIZ fraud
Okay,
Okay,
assessment.
all right.
So that's why I did it, I kinda
Yep.
try to like itemize exact to Addendum B.
Right, that's what I was, okay.
Yep.
That was kinda my question with that. And, another thing, just talk about a little bit, with the health insurance, is that the adjustment because we've changed the contribution rates?
No, so that is for, like, if we have any extra left over. It wouldn't be towards our budget, we cannot use any ARPA funding towards our revenue budget.
Okay, right,
But the auditors would help the town accountant out on how we would go ahead and put that towards it.
okay,
But it's just money if we had any funding left over, just for example, like, we don't know exactly like MRI or some of the other ongoing projects that we have going on. We don't know exactly where we stand.
It's our cushion.
It is our
Okay.
cushion.
In other words, some of these things, for example, we think the current contracts are specific, and we don't think there'll be any overruns,
Right,
but
you never
in case
know.
there are, we have a cushion. In overruns, especially in the area where they're doing that, you know, looking at the legal aspects of the claims of harassment, okay?
Yes.
And we don't know, I mean, we're hoping it's not any higher than it is, but we don't know, so we have cushioned our money there. If we don't use any of that money in these things, it will go into health insurance, and that is what is recommended by our
Right,
auditors.
so that way, I did go higher on that, so we'd have it. I mean,
yeah, that was the only question I asked, as far as, being able to use that for that.
yeah.
For
But
that.
we definitely don't wanna go over, obviously, what our revenue is that we brought in.
I mean, we're not gonna spend any more than we're supposed to.
Right,
So what we did was we didn't do some things in order to probably pay, by the time we're done, $100,000 for this assessment, for this,
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, our 70 may be low.
It might be.
I think we're up there now, don't you?
You're already up there, where, if you look at it, 21,000 is what we have remaining just on this. It could be more than that, hopefully not. I mean, same thing, I mean, there's a lot of them that you have to
Yeah.
be careful for.
Okay, but, so I just wanna make sure that how will we make public aware of this list? Will we put this with our minutes and so forth,
It will
Brandon?
be attached, I'll have it on my town government and the website after this meeting.
Okay, that's great. That will give us an opportunity, if the public has questions, they certainly can bring those to the next meeting. And/or they can talk with either you, Tammy, probably by
come.
phone, whatever.
Yep, whatever they want.
Okay.
You stole my thunder on that one. I was gonna ask a question.
Oh, okay. Great minds think alike. Okay, just so people know where they can find it.
And if you have any questions, come see me.
Yeah,
They'll be
I'll go
asked.
over all of
And
it.
if you have a specific question on, for example, why do we buy fire department and police radios? Was it an option? The upgrades were such that our old radios wouldn't talk to the new radios at where we were dispatching from, so. And obviously, the things that were done at the police department with a drone and with fencing, that all had to do with going through the accreditation process. And the chief, I know, would be really happy and probably provide a lot of information in that. Fixing trucks, well, fixing trucks are fixing trucks, but if people had questions about that, I know we have a brand-new DPW person at this point in time. He's started, this is his first day, but I believe he's been involved in some of those fixes as he was planning to take the job. So certainly, if he can't help, I know other people on the ground, especially Scotty Churchill and probably Tom George could speak to that. But when we certainly, ended up with the situation with, staffing issues, there were a lot of trucks that weren't ready to run, and so we got them ready to run, and that took us a little time.
Yep.
Okay, so that will be up and over. We have nothing else on here. Do we have any further things to add to this meeting, other than a Happy New Year?
Well, just for, something to talk about here, as far as, like you were speaking about the trucks and whatnot. I was with Tammy the other day, I spoke to Chris Bouchard, and we were able to, on our fair share, the fair share program,
Mhm.
we're able to actually be able to purchase some equipment, trucks, et cetera, out of that, and that was over and above what we have available for our Chapter 90.
And Chris Bouchard is?
Chris Bouchard is the Chapter 90
Is that right?
state aid.
Okay, I would certainly urge us to have our DPW person meet with us, perhaps Monday,
He will be.
and let's walk through all of this, so
Yep.
he can demonstrate what at least.
Mark wrote it all down on the board.
So it's important that we have a preliminary plan as soon as practicable, and I will be meeting a week from today.
Do you want that on the agenda? for
Please.
Monday?
Yes, that should be one of the most outstanding things we do, to get that place up and
So
running.
what do you want me to call it, chapter?
Chapter 90, Fair Share Program.
Yep.
Update.
And we have, currently, we have the money, the town
Yeah.
has the money. It's 259,000 or something like that, don't quote me on it, but, and we can use, if done correctly,
Yeah.
Chris Bouchard is gonna assist us through the whole process. of
Sounds
being
great.
live.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
Hmm.
As I said, I will be meeting to continue negotiation of some financial issues with the Teamsters Union, and also beginning work with Kimberly, our attorney on personnel. We'll be beginning our open negotiations with the fire department. Is that what we need to do? We continue our work to hire a new fire chief.
Yes.
I need to make sure we can get some places for meeting rooms and education and we'll lose Quabbin Regional.
Yep, for January 29th.
Okay, and we're talking probably like 8 AM to 4, or?
They didn't give me the time right now. They have had 14 applicants, and they are going to be scheduling their virtual interviews next week.
Okay.
And then once he does that, he's going to contact me and let me know where we go from there.
Okay.
But it'll be January 29th
Okay,
when we
and
need to
and
go.
also, I don't know if some of you saw the agenda item and so forth, or the note from Jessica Bennett from Quabbin Regional, indicating that on January 8th, Wednesday night, this is 6:30,
I believe
I
it's
think it is,
6:30.
that they are welcoming, okay, all of the town select boards as well as town administrators to join them and have preliminary conversations regarding budget.
Yep.
Okay, and you are off to the conference soon, right?
Yes, I'll be gone the 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
23rd, 24th, and 25th, okay. I know that we're working, the school people, because I work for school people, not just for Quabbin, but I do work for school people. And we are going to be working with Mass Municipal Association too regarding the increased funding that's necessary for about 230 school districts who are,
Nice.
who the governor, or at least the current budget is to give them 0. You may as well just fold up the schools or fold up the towns, just pick one. It's crazy. So we think we can make some headway here, and I'm sure I don't know if you've seen the resolutions that they already have at MMA, but they already
Assessment of
have.
the classes. You're
Yeah,
talking about the class. Yeah.
So they're already doing some of the same, recommendations and resolutions in their thing that the Mass Association of Regional Schools is doing, the Mass Association of School Committees, the Mass Association of School Committee, of Superintendents, and it goes on and on. We've got everyone that walks and said anything about schools
Good.
on this thing, so we're hoping that, we're hoping to see some movement in House 1, which is the governor's budget. And because if you get it in House 1, that's, it's easier than trying to fight to get it in, the House level budget and then get it into the Senate budget, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we continue to work on that. Obviously, it's gonna be a tough budget year, no matter what. Inflation is still bearing its ugly head. And if tariffs go into place, that could make us really wary of buying new stuff, so maybe you would be doing a lot of used stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? No?
No.
Okay, we're ready to.
The meeting on the 8th, are all the board members gonna go? Because I'll have to post that you're going to the meeting.
I mean, we're all invited.
I need to know.
No.
I'm going.
Probably should post it.
I would
Okay.
post it, and if it doesn't work out, I'll definitely show up,
Okay.
you know?
And I'll just say, see,
Yeah,
they know.
yeah. I
Or
mean,
you
because,
can do the minutes.
John may come.
Yeah, right.
I just don't
I'm
know
not
what
gonna.
people's, what people's.
Yeah, John might
calendar-
go.
Yeah, I'll have to post that today.
You gonna go?
Tammy, regarding the budget, and where we are today,
Mhm.
as far as, percentage-wise, and versus where we are through the year, you know what that is, we spoke about it earlier. Do you think it's something we should, like, periodically do in a select board meeting, and let, like, everyone know that we're at,
Absolutely.
in the wake of the meeting that we just went through?
Yep.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep, that's always a good thing. I look at it.
If those numbers are attainable very,
Easily.
Yeah,
quickly,
they're very
easily,
easily, yeah, it's very attainable. When the accountant sends out the report,
Mhm.
it's very,
It's
it's
very obvious.
very important to look at those numbers. I look at them every time she sends out the report. We're actually at 49.44%. To be exact, that she just sent out. We should be at 50%. That's even with her taking out the 243,000. I mean, the 100,000 was out of the ambulance receipts reserve, so that's not going to show in our budget.
So
But-
we are in good shape right now.
Well, right now, but that doesn't.
Right now, that's what I mean.
Yes.
But, I think we should go along and make a point to do it every month or so.
Well,
Every,
The
yeah, we
real-
could do it every couple weeks
Yeah,
too. when we do
The
everything.
real problem with not a problem, but the real reality with the budget is our budget is primarily people.
Yes.
It's not things. It's not, we can say, let's just not do a thing this year, and that will take care of it. We can't, because you have to say, okay, let's decrease staffing. Okay, pick one person in each department. Most departments are one person, and maybe there's some assistance. We're understaffed as it is, so managing the budget by thinking we can do a lot with personnel is nonsensical. We have to come up with another plan, and you said, there are some, revenues we can talk about, and I know no
Yeah.
one wants to talk about, drink tax or
consumption
food
taxes.
tax, but we do know that other towns do it. And we need to just make sure we have a conversation with the people who are, working in the restaurant industries and so forth, to talk them through, okay, we're not doing this to make your family less well off, but it will not make me, at least it's so small an impact. We haven't seen, and we can have people from other towns talk about, people don't stop coming to your restaurants because you have a meals tax. Most people don't even know you have a meals tax.
No.
And,
One of the reasons why they put those consumption taxes out there is because of
Yeah.
small towns.
Yeah.
Like us, we have 90% of our revenue coming from our real estate.
And I have gotten a couple people saying, why don't you charge our businesses, because they have much more expensive property, much more expensive, stuff on the ground. I feel like saying, we have so few places that we could go in and attempt to do an industrial-based tax.
Well, Jesse explained all that.
Yeah,
pretty well.
so, I mean, just, that's bubbling around out there, so we should, mention it on occasion. So when will you think we would see tax rate?
Oh, we already got the tax rate. Oh, I don't know exactly what it is.
13.
98, I wanna,
Yeah.
don't mark me 100%, cause I could
No,
have the,
tax rate's
see
low.
that
It's the tax-
$13 and
it's the
98.
Valuation.
It's a valuation of
$13.89.
property that's making all communities a little nervous. But what's important to know is tax bills. When will you expect them? Will they be on time?
So I do know that they should be,
Okay,
cause we ended
Well,
up doing that
good.
whole meeting
okay, good
for that reason.
good for everybody who, worked to make that happen.
Mhm.
So there's no reason to talk to the district schools relative to cash flow.
Not that I'm aware of, I have
Okay.
not heard anything from
Okay.
the, tax
Yeah.
collector's office, so.
Okay, so that's good. Okay, so it looks like a good new year. We spent what money we're supposed to spend, and we hopefully saved the money we're supposed to save. And I'm sure there'll be questions and concerns, but we'll keep on working at it. Half day tomorrow for folks?
Yes,
Okay.
offices will be closed at noon.
I'm sorry?
Offices are closing at noon.
Okay. Must have been quiet around here anyway. hasn't it?
Very quiet, we haven't had anybody.
The public is off doing its thing, right?
Yeah.
I think we're off, you can,
No, you
Yeah.
have to adjourn, and then he
Yeah.
shuts off.
well, we have a motion to adjourn.
And move to adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn, I'll second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Just let John know that we suffered along without him.
I will let them know.
I don't know, he might be traveling, I haven't seen Heidner here.